Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever this finds you. We go again. Thank you all for those who are returning, coming back in. This one is a wee bit late going out. Everyone so far has been out at a certain time, early in the morning, Friday morning. It's been given a whole week to prepare for them and think about what I'm going to do, and then do the actual recording, and then obviously get it to Michael and Fern and then get it up. So this is Friday. This has been recorded, and it's purely because of what's been going on since the tour. It's been incredible this week. This episode number 16. It's going to be called The Good Stuff, because there's so much good stuff going on just now that has came on the back of a lot of hard work over the last since January, really. The end of January was when it really kind of kicked off. And it's not been a grind. It's been a fantastic learning process. It's been a fantastic learning curve in terms of the trajectory of what we've been able to create, all of us. And I'm going to be talking about all of us, and how that's developing just now. Again, another just blessed in so many ways just now. So much good stuff going on about this vortex and this work and this mission. So this week, after the tour, 4 weeks every weekend, which Fern actually said to me a couple of days ago, I'm so glad. The initial plan was to do like a different, location Saturday and different location Sunday. And at the time, we just felt like too much for many, many reasons. So kind of trusted the feelings again, and just thought, we'll back off. And even though it was only 4 dates, I was a wee bit, didn't quite feel like a full Scottish tour. I was a wee bit kind of, I would have liked to kind of took it a wee bit further afield, and but just for many reasons, we kind of followed our intuition. All of us, we decided it was going to be 4 dates, every Sunday, and that was more than enough. It really was for what it took to do it, and put it together and organise it and advertise it, and take the correspondence and logistics, and it's been a fantastic learning curve. But it was by the end of Sunday, we had one of the most fantastic days. It was amazing how everything was just building up towards Loch Lomond. Because of my history, being up there, and when I mentioned when I spoke on Sunday, I was talking about, it was 2017, the first time I did an event at Loch Lomond. I believe it was probably one of the very first cold water groups in the country at that time, when I was training to become a Wim Hof method instructor. And I think back now to all the thousands and thousands of people. I see over 10,000 people. It feels, it could be closer to 12 over the last kind of 6-7 years. The amount of people have been in it since 2016 when I started it. When you get back into that place, which is the kind of first one that I did, and you see where it is just now, and the fact that it's now my own thing. I'm not standing under Wim's name, or and the call's just a tiny wee bit of it. So what it's grown into in terms of the whole experience and what it's doing for people, how it's been received. It was just building up week on week. We started the tour and the way we were going to kind of design it and how it was going to play. It was always going to finish at Loch Lomond, and we watched it build, from Dundee to Aberdeen to Ayr. And just blessed in so many ways with the weather to begin with, because the sun just seemed to follow us. The amount of times, driving it was the best. It was just hammering down for an hour and a half, and I got to the roundabout, right to the kind of the back end of Ayr, and the sun just came out, and then before you know it, the whole session. Then again, you need to see us to believe it, but I turned the microphone off, and it started raining. Put the mic in the bag, and it just started raining. It was fascinating. So we're blessed with the weather again at Loch Lomond on Sunday. It was nice in the morning time. Afternoon it kind of clouded over a wee bit, but the lead up events and the people, word of mouth and people getting experience and seeing the reviews and the people that took the time to come, which I am so grateful for. Thank you to all you guys that made it happen. The numbers were great. Obviously you always want more. You want as many as you can get. And again, it's always the right people, and watching people coming in and getting round about it, whether it's through that experience, which is a free event, and a lot of people obviously coming up not really knowing what they were getting into, thinking it was probably just a breathwork session and a wee bit of cold water, and then they turn up, and we learned this. I certainly learned this during it, I've always given disclaimers about, what this work's about and what it does, and how deep we intend to go with it. It's a tool for healing. And I think that probably caught a few people by surprise, in terms of the depth that we went to, and the ones that kind of stuck around and went through it. Some of their experiences, which they weren't expecting, just fascinating how it works out. So it was just incredible. Thank you all. Thank you to the people who showed up, the ones contributed. Thanks to the programme members that supported the tour. The different dates, the overnights and the early morning kind of runs up to Aberdeen and all that kind of good stuff. It's something absolutely, the community that's getting built within that is really special, and more people like joining every day, which is absolutely brilliant. And that's one of the intentions behind this, to get people on about it. Obviously Michael and Fern who made it happen, the logistics of making something like that. Well, how do you do that? Where do you even start? With the advertising, the socials and all that kind of stuff. So the goodness that came from it, the expansion, the lessons, it felt like something happened on Sunday. It really did. Something changed on Sunday. Certainly changed the way that it came through me in the presentation. Was presented by myself. It was funny watching me again. Doing it every Sunday for a month. And the travel that's involved in the early mornings and the preparation and all that kind of stuff. Michael and Fern, they're on the road, so they're there 2-3 days before it, doing the work and preparing. Like with me the night before it, and just getting back, it felt like getting back to the old when I'd be preparing for some event, like an athletic event or whatever it was, football games or the kind of the pre-match nerves before the night before it. And you kind of think the more you would do it, then the less you would get. But on this tour, for whatever reason, I think 3 nights out of the 4, the night before it, I was up almost the whole night, just thinking about it and meditating on it and processing it and thinking what I'm going to say and what the intention is and why we're doing it and how we're hoping to help people. And Lot Lomond was very much like that. 2 o'clock in the morning, wide awake, had about probably 2.5-3 hours sleep, which is fine. And then the whole everything that was done between 2:30 in the morning and when I left here, probably back at 7, but just starting at 10. And then feeling what I was taking into it, which doesn't even actually matter anymore. I just I do the best I can. I remember watching Dave Chappelle talking about, who I'm not a fan of, and still I remember him saying he gets paid for the attempt. And since I heard that years ago, you're trying your best, especially a free event. It's different if you're getting paid for it, I suppose, but when it's a free event, you're really kind of. And I just kept reminding myself that we're doing our best, we're trying to help. The intention is to get out there to help people, dead simple. So when you've got that intention, then there's not really that much that goes wrong. Of all the, with so many positive experiences over the 4 weeks, with maybe one tiny wee negative that was something we learned from, and it was all good. It just kept us kind of on our toes a wee bit, but apart from that, it was absolutely like perfection, from our perspective. And you can see that with the results, in terms of what people are getting, people that have joined the programme, the ones that are coming in and, signing up and wanting to get on about it. And also the testimonials as well, the people that go. I love watching the testimonials coming. It's just really great to see, what people are getting from it. Because obviously I know the power in it. I've been seeing it for years now. And the people are getting about it and going through the experience, and then if they wish, carrying it into their life, watching what happens to every area of their life, really quickly is brilliant. So the more the merrier. And interesting the people that are coming out and coming through. I'm meeting people at Lot Lomond in particular, just a couple of people I've not seen forever, 30 years, people just coming right out of kind of left field, they've been drawn to this work and looking for answers. So many people just now looking for answers, looking for solutions, and the way that I'm sharing and the way that I'm teaching, the stuff that I've picked up, it makes things better, it really does, so the timing feels great, this wave that we are now on, since Sunday, and, leading up to the previous couple of weeks off the back of Aberdeen, which was a rough one, in terms of myself, how I was exhausted getting into it, the amount of what I've been doing that week. I had to back off for there, just so I wasn't too stale, but what we learned from that, and then the kind of low points of, because you think you're always looking for the response, like how's it going, is it, what's the feedback, and sometimes things don't happen quick enough, especially with this work, and I think us, learning how to get it out there and not trying to sell it and not trying to shove it in people's throats, always offer that option to try and help people, and then trying to identify what it is we actually do, I think that's now very, very clear with my work. For those that are getting about it, it's leaning towards practice. Everything's going towards, not leaning towards it, it's going towards absolutely the spiritual practices, meditation specifically, and going inside and reconnecting back into yourself, back into your heart, back into your soul. All the different modalities that I use during that process, between the breath work and the guided language and the relaxation, and all of that matters, the way that the language is constructed. It's all done with pure intention to create some space, within your nut, give a break for you, and then, you know, allow you through, again, guided, you know, intentional practice of going back inside and seeing, you know, what's going on in yourself, you know, what's going on within your heart, what's going on within your soul, what's going on within your life, taking stock and then allowing whatever it is to, you know, to come up and to come out. Again, it's a healing practice, you know, so a big part of those events, you know, is basically, okay, what is it that needs to come out? What was holding you back? This is the reasons why it happens so quickly. You know, we need to identify. We don't take it to chance. We're actually asking, you know, why are you here? What's your reasons? This is serious stuff. You know, so if you have got specifics, and a lot of people just maybe didn't have specifics, just came to get run about it and see what it was, which is fine as well. It's always perfect, but certain people going in there with, you know, real kind of reasons for being there, you know, whether it was grieving or whether it was mental health or, you know, whether that physical pain or disease or if it's some sort of diagnosis or prognosis, all that kind of stuff. There's loads of things going on that people are dealing with, you know, and there's many layers to that, you know, different stages and different ages of things that are coming up. It's fascinating, you know, so that's really what the event was all about, you know, it's inviting people to come in and use it, you know, and you know, find a way of getting stuff up and getting it out, and then once we do that, then we move on very quickly. And you know, that's just a wee bit of it. You know, we need to acknowledge what it is that's holding us back. And some people don't know that. Some people that can be like, you know, buried and unconscious, they've never actually dealt with it. And again, when you stop intentionally and get into that space, into that sacred space, and you ask, you know, the unconscious mind, which stores everything there's ever been, you know, your feelings, your emotions, and when you go deep inside, this is why the breath work is so powerful when it's done correctly. You know, well, you know, to take people inside and to ask those questions, but what is it? What is it that's holding you back? And that could be anything. You know, it can be anger, it can be resentment, it can be bitterness, it can be shame, you know, it can be guilt. And choose your poison. What is it that's holding you back? You know, so once we identify that and you feel your feelings, this isn't done in the head. You know, we get out of the head very, very quickly. We stop things very quickly through the breath work and relaxation and back into the meditation, back into that sacred space. Because once it comes up and we get it out, loads of tears again on Sunday, which are great. I love tears. You know, tears, whatever it is, relief, sadness, gratitude, joy, happiness. There are so many tears in so many different ways to the nervous system and the body expressing their emotions. Basically, you can't handle them, they pour out through you. So get it out, you know, really let it go and get the lessons from it, or find the relief as you feel it. There's so many things going on with you don't suppress it and you bury it, and you know, so it's great to get it up and get it out, and then eventually we get to replace it, which is by bringing in the light. It's by bringing in the light of the divine. It's by sitting in meditation, by sitting in silence, you know, again through guided intentional steps to get back into yourself and remember how you're meant to feel, and in fact not just who you are but what you are. That's what meditation should be. It's not to quiet the mind or, you know, put the music on the background and whatever you're doing. That's not meditation. Meditation is, the intention is to like direct conscious contact with God. That's it, you know, union with the divine eventually, to experience all that you are, which is divine. You know, the essence of what you really are is divine, and that's what meditation's all about. You know, so once we get stuff up and out, then when we go into that space, and even if you've never ever done it before, and you think you can't do it, you know, what we're saying is that most people are getting it. They're getting the stuff that we're talking about. And when you get it and you bring it on board, again, you need to experience it. You can't have to talk about this all day. It's not going to want you to experience it. But once you experience it, once you go inside and you feel it, and it's real, and then you feel what it does to you, and you feel simple stuff, you know, like feeling grateful. When you switch off your nervous system and calm down, like just be grateful and be able to stop, and something about coming out of that survivor like instinct, that just survival mode of fight and flight. And when you switch your nervous system off, you know, then you can maybe see things outside the current just internal battles a lot of the times, but the personal battles that don't even allow you to look up because you're so, you know, self-contained and dealing with your own stuff. And when you get to look outside, you know, you actually see that the world isn't that bad, and the people certainly aren't either. Now that's a big part of it. You know, when the reconnection process takes place within the self, then immediately we're looking up to see what's on about us, both in the space lying down, but also in your life. You know, the people that you miss every single day. Because you're too busy, or I don't know, or maybe too sick, you know, or maybe too stressed or distracted, or, you know, there's so many things going on just now, and the world is sick. It really is. It's I see that every single day, and it's getting worse. The animalistic behaviour that's being, you know, carried out I say a circus all the time because it's like a performance to me, it's like a show, and then I see the clowns in the circus. But now you look at it, it's like a zoo, you know, I realise it's became like a zoo, and in fact a jungle is another analogy that I've used in the bike, where it's a wee bit of everything depending on what area you look at. You know, the jungle and the way that animalistic, the way everything is being expressed. It's crazy times we're living in, it really is. People are suffering, and I can't get caught in that, we really can't. We can see how it is and see how bad it is. But this work is not about any of that. This work is about the opposite of that, the antidote to that. It's about the solutions. So that's why we don't really spend any time, that much time at all, like focusing on the bad stuff or the things that are wrong. I see it, you can't avoid it, you know, and people want to talk about it to me a lot of the time, but I just don't play. I'm not getting caught in it. It's very specific what the intention is with this work. I've no need to be wanting to be right or to prove myself against anybody or make this to be better than anybody else's. I'm not doing that. It's more about that this is a way, a set of tools and techniques and practices that I believe are divine in nature that make everything better. It's not my way, it's the way. I've just put it together in a certain way that enables people to understand it, you know, by the way I've worked out of myself over a long period of time. You know, so the programme itself and the work that we're doing, these basic fundamental practices, it's kind of thing you don't get, it's not you get good at it or you get it, you commit your life to it. And it becomes a way of life, and it's one of the things that you either do it or don't do it. And for those who are doing it, you know, certainly you normally probably need to do it in the beginning, but for those who bring it into their life and feel what it feels like, the impact that it makes on their life, basic stuff like breath work and, you know, using it properly, intentionally, most of the time, so you don't really take the chance that you're going to suffer anxiety. You know, as just a real basic, you know, like starter for 10, like how you're breathing, you know, which feeds into everything, your mood and, you know, where you're spending your time. You become present with the breath and it brings you into the moment. Then you can be conscious and aware and awake as to what you're doing yourself, or in fact what you're surrounded by. A lot of people miss it because of they're in like hypnosis. It's unconscious hypnosis. So when you wake up and become aware as to, you know, what's going on about you, then you can start to make changes. You know, you can start to be intentional with your life, and you start to climb yourself. You know, maybe it's through the hole, maybe you're buried. Maybe some people it's worse than that, you know, but when you start to be aware there's a different way of at least possibly doing it, and you feel a lot better very quickly, then at that point, the choice is there to either do it or not do it. And for those that are doing it, for those that are getting in about the work, for those that are applying, you know, this way of living, I'm seeing people flying just now. I really am. I see people that are in the exact same circumstances as anybody else, and they're thriving, you know, and they're doing great, and they're excited, and they're eager, and they're sleeping well, and they're feeling good, and their business is doing good, and their income's coming in, and they seem to be smiling a lot of them, and just absolutely blessed, you know, because that leads on to the next bit. The tour was fantastic. Thank you all to finish on that. There's more dates coming up. I'm going to announce at least another couple of dates. I've been speaking about a different way of doing it that doesn't involve the COVID. It's going to allow me to access more people in a different way. And the plan was to announce it straight away, but after the tour, we also have, we've got the first, it's the first retreat I've done this year. I've done many retreats in the past, but the first retreat I've done this year, and it's going to be exclusively to programme members, at least for the first one, maybe even the second as well. It's called The Ceremony. You're going to be seeing a fair bit of it online shortly, The Ceremony. And the ceremony is a reconnection back to yourself. Mother Nature, the space, there's all sorts of good stuff going on within the ceremony, something I am very excited about, because the results and the expansions and the healings and the connections and the work that's been done in the past with these big events, the retreats, being in nature, being a phone and eating in a certain way and sleeping in a certain way and being around like-minded souls who are on a similar path. It's deep water. It's not just for anybody. I'm always reluctant for anybody just to come on and sign up and off the street because of the nature that takes place over those kind of 2, 3, 4 days. We go very deep, and it's really normally people that I've worked with personally one-on-one. They get access to it because it's deep stuff and it's powerful stuff, you know. So the first one is going to be next month, and off the back of that, then we're looking right through the winter time. I'm smiling because there's another opportunity that's came up that ties into the back of this. There's so much. That's why this one's called the good stuff. There's so much good stuff going on just now with the retreat, the first retreat, and then now a possibility of taking on an opportunity. Let's say at this minute we're still in very, very early stages, but really exciting. The possibility of taking on like an allocation and having like another vortex at one of the most spectacular places in this country, and having a kind of centre for well-being that was geared towards nature and the outdoors, and and then running these types of events, these whether it's coming in for a couple of days, just in a state for a couple of days, whether it's coming up and living more permanently, a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time. And depending on what you need, so there's so many opportunities. That's something I'm hoping to announce very, very soon as well. The opportunity to take this, for the whole winter and for many years, to build something, where people can go, and especially in winter time. I'm thinking the summer is busy and there's too many midges where we're going. So perfect for me that the location it leads into just perfectly winter time and this work. So we're speaking about that just now, and it's coming from everywhere. There's so much good stuff. After the last couple of weeks, we had a week kind of dip, myself and the team you are going to meet. I keep saying it, it's them that's kind of holding up on it a wee bit. We're going to do it next week. You're going to get to meet the team. I want everybody to see the team, because it's expanding every day as well. That's another part of this, that the team is expanding. But obviously, Michael and Fern, when you hear their story and hear and see who they are and feel who they are and how they came about, when about this work and when about me, I'll tell my side of it, and then they can share their side. Get to see the part of the mission that they're in, because without them none of this happens. The time and the effort and the just like devotional dedication since I came on board. 5:30 again this morning. 7 days a week we're live online. So 5:30 this morning, they're my support team if anything's going wrong with me fumbling about Zoom. To 11 o'clock at night most nights, 7 days a week. We don't really get a break unless there's a pre-arranged forgive and he'll leave us alone. And it's just been perfect. It's like divine intervention, both of them showing up with a skill set and just who they are, just they're like my veins. They're in terms of their energy and the goodness that's in them, and seeing the work that they're doing and the stage that they're at with their own development, and off the back of the work that they're doing with all this stuff, then the team is now expanded in different ways. And I've always felt that it was going to be like self-selecting. Sounds a wee bit weird for some reason, but it's because to go and actually actively get somebody to do this work, this isn't really like almost anything, I don't think, and so it does. The normal business rules and models don't apply. Some do obviously, but a lot of it doesn't. And I've had a few opportunities over the years that people want to come in and get on about it and want to fund me or give me some help. And normally, in fact, always they want a bit of it. They want a bit of the business, and that's something that I've always felt will never happen. I feel like the kind of custodian of this work because of what it's take to get to this place, and I'm the one that looks after it. And allows it to come through me. The intention is absolutely to pass it on and to teach as many people as I can, because anybody can learn it. I've just worked it out, and the bridges that I'm now creating with the programme and the information that can happen very quickly. So there's loads of good things coming through in terms of expansion of people going about it now, and again watching how it unfolds, and not trying to push it and just being like stepping back from a couple of situations where I could have jumped in and the timing wasn't right because of one thing and another. And always really feeling like I needed my own people, the people that got the work, the people that knew about it, and lo and behold, here we are. The team now, over the last probably week and a half, after Loch Lomond actually, in fact the last week, leading up to Loch Lomond, some really powerful and specific stuff was coming through, meditation for me, which was interesting at the time, and then on Sunday, I got to understand what it was all about. And then off the back of that, for whatever reason, the people that are run about the inner circle are saying, like, we want to help, like, how can we help, what can we do here? For me looking at it, I've always been no wary of help. I don't mean that, but anytime I try to jump in with anybody or not like use them to stand beside for whatever reason, then it never ever goes well. But this is very different this time. This feels really, really different, and I think it's because I'm standing at the front and it's a vortex, which is mine, obviously my work, and they're now coming in to try and help it, just to get it out there and get it to the world. And their intentions and who they are, obviously I know who they are because I've been about it for a long time, they've been about me for a long time, so some of them 5-6 years. So over the last week there's been another, I would say at least 4 absolute additions between the social media, the reels, the kind of the marketing side of things, and how in terms of how we're going to get this to the world and get it out there, which they're driving it. It's not me. I believe that I've been fairly consistent over the years with the work that I'm putting out and the impact that it's making, and I've just been waiting for people to show up and help me. Really, that's what it's always felt like. Wait, I can't do it myself. There's only so much I can do. All this stuff with the digital and the cameras and the mics and I'm in this myself, my recording studio. I can do this myself now. But to get it to this point would never happened, you know. So, and then you get it to this stage where we're being fairly consistent, and then you look at the amount of information we've got. There's over 200-300 hours of live video records between, you know, these obviously the one day to change your life, the one day events, and then you've got the live events as well. There's corporate. There's loads and loads of things that, you know, can be put out that are a lot of good stuff in it. There really is. There's some brilliant stuff in it, but it takes time and it takes manpower and to get it out there, you know. So for me, the most important part was having people that actually understand the word and the language. They're the ones who can find it. I know a lot of people use AI and all that kind of stuff, but we're trying to find the essence of the nuggets. When it's coming through me, I can feel it. Very difficult to repeat it. When you're in that flow in certain stages, then there's certain bits in it that it seems to come through. A lot of it just comes through for the first time. And because they've been in it for so long, you know, they can identify it. And the idea is to basically start to, you know, get that out there to help more people and spread this brand, spread this word, this Vortex mission. I mentioned it on Sunday, I verbalised it on Sunday, but I basically said the intention of this work is dead simple. It's to heal the world. That's it. It's to heal the world, and I believe the way we do that is by healing yourself first, you know, and then allowing that to move into and, you know, permeate it into the rest of your family and your friends and those on about you. Your house, you know, your street, your scheme, your whatever it is, you know, like to take that to the world, because the impact of that in itself, just you getting it, is huge. And once we get it at that level, you know, then we can start to obviously pay it forward. It's one at a time every single day. The hour is late. There's work to be done. No mistake. We are up against it. So many people are suffering. The new norm in terms of what people are putting up with is terrifying. In terms of levels of sickness and ill health and just how far off track we are. And, you know, this mission, this work, the intention is to go in the opposite direction of that and to give people at least an option or a choice so they can come in. And I defy anybody, no matter what it is, if you give us a week of your time, and it doesn't need to be a week, you know, but if it's really bad, give us a week. You know, but even coming in for a day, an hour can be enough, you know, a breathwork session and a relaxation and just to switching off the stress, that can be enough. But if it's serious stuff, you know, the stuff that's, you know, threatening your life experience, and it's making it unmanageable, or even worse than that, then 2, 3, 4 days in the space, you know, a week in nature with no phone and eating properly and taking away the external stresses and calming yourself down and detoxing and remembering how you're meant to feel. Just to be in nature is enough. Every time I come back for the TP, when I drive at that Kingston, the Erston Bridge, it's like driving into the Death Star. You can just feel the energy, just the force field pulling you in. You know, you're in that nature up in Glencoe and up in the mountains, and you're sitting by the side of the river with a phone. There's something about it. It makes things better, you know. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to create space. We're trying to help people find space, and the team that's now shown up, it's so grateful. We now have, as well as the whole the social media stuff, that's, I think, is more than covered. I've got a team of 3 looking at that, as well as Michael and Fern kind of pitching in and coordinating. That's still in its infancy, but really excited about that. And then we've got the corporate side as well, which I'm really excited about, because it's going to take money. You know, it's going to take a lot of money to do what we want to do. I've got huge dreams with this. I believe how you earn the money, and then, you know, very important, how you do it, the service you're providing, what you're giving, you know, what you're providing in terms of the exchange for that. I see so much just literal rubbish online and snake oil of people exchanging stuff that doesn't actually work, or they're not doing it. You know, they maybe did it a while ago, but now this is what I did, or this is what I used to do. And if you do this, and it's no, that was 10 years ago that I did that, and I made this, and now I became like a guru, or a you know, some sort of, you know, a life coach, or a personal development expert, or a spiritual expert, which is hilarious in most cases. So there's the value in this and what it's actually doing and how it helps everything. You know, it really does make everything better. So there's a massive value in this. I had a point the other morning, and it was like and I've come through a few times, like, how this is more valuable than gold, or this process, what people experience. It's so difficult to put a value in it, you know, in terms of what it does for people so quickly. So there's an exchange for that. And the plan is always to help as many as we can, ideally for free, but to get it to the level we're at, in this world, this realm we're in just now, it takes paper or credits, it depends how you look at it, it takes money, you know. So the corporate stuff absolutely is going to help with all of that, you know. So we've now got he's not full time, but he's committed to it, he's in it full time, he's part of the team. I've known him for a long time, again, like he's like a son to me. just blessed with how it's unfolded. When I actually asked him last week, how do you get your sales, professional salesman, how do you get your sales? And it's exactly what we need in terms of how he's proposing to do it. And I've trained in sales, my businesses, and trained with some of the best salespeople and trainers and people that linked right into working with Jim Rohn, some of them, just how to help people buy. I hate the idea of sales, but how to help people buy, how to offer a service or a product and then explain what it does, and then find some sort of common ground with the price that everybody's going to win, and then deliver the experience that you said you were going to give. And then watching, what happens to people. And corporate people, they need it as much as anybody. It's every single section, part of this mission, this expansion, and the people are now coming in. Again, there's another layer of, people are going to come run about it, that are going to be learn and be trained by myself, to give them these skill sets. We can then start to affect, positively all the different demographics. The Waynes are struggling, so we need people, probably mummies, to get in and teach the Waynes how to breathe, how to, and then who's on about the Waynes, the teachers, the nursery nurses, and, how different demographics, people are struggling in different ways, and then the schools, obviously, different stages, different ages, the amount of people that wanted to come and be young children, 12, 11, to the Reset and Reconnect, and it was like, nah, it's not really the place. There'll be a lot of tears, it can be heavy stuff, if you're coming and yourself and you break and then your kids watching you, there's a loads of reasons why, but they obviously need help as well, especially since COVID and the madness the last few years. So different demographics, business is obviously part of that. The way the business is just now, I see it, I'm still connected, I speak to business people every day. I was in business myself for 35 years, I know how it works, it's so fucking difficult just now. So at this time, when people need help, when they're not sleeping and they're not in stress and they're worried and they're fearful and they're fighting the visible enemies, the day-to-day stuff, whether it's, people being off work and staff shortages and, the dealing with, people that are a lot of the time that they shouldn't be at work because of the condition they're in. And then the environment of, that level of stress coming through your suppliers and your customers, and just that people they're fearful just now and people are under stress, so that makes it a really toxic environment. And obviously the supply chain going into that, like the bubble that they keep looking at, and what's going on within the world with the amount of businesses going bust, so there's obviously a lot of uncertainty there. And for me it's dead easy. For years and years I grew up in construction, and the stories I hear from friends of the Vortex and guys that know about the Vortex in terms of the suicide rates in the Vortex and the challenges with addiction within construction, and the challenges of addiction in construction, the challenges of suicides, and it's like, how do we fix that? And that, to me, that's dead simple. If you, because I know what happens. They get in and they send in a lot of times a fat life coach, all my love, but they send in some bloater that's just, there's no fucking idea what it means to be a cocaine addict and want to kill themselves and needs to go to work because they're going to lose everything. But so the basic mindfulness techniques, and it's like people need more on that, especially in Scotland. So there is a way for that. There's a way to, especially for the boys. The cold therapy, absolutely. I would have a cold shower in every single yard and make it visible, and then teach people how to do that, but take them in and teach them how to breathe and switch off their stress and make it normal, as opposed to you being a freak if you do it, it's because people need something. Other than that, what is it, the pills and the medication and the therapy and how else do you get through it, so we need to normalise all that kind of stuff. So every demographic, right up to, the prison service, and whether it's prisoners or the people that are looking after them and guarding them and, that whole thing there. Something I've been looking into and watching a wee bit. A good friend of mine, Mr. Sean Toll, who I'm going to be speaking on his podcast within the next few weeks. I'm going to be my first podcast. I'm really excited about that. And, hearing his stories in terms of going through that whole thing. And we've spoke about, what would you do? How would you make it better? And there is a way to make it better. Of course there is. It absolutely is. I would love a chance to go in and show people very quickly how to de-escalate stress and how to use cold exposure properly, and then how to meditation. Is that too big an ask? When people actually know what it is, and it's not some rainbows and unicorns poof sitting under a waterfall. No, you're actually talking about reconnecting back into that goodness, that divinity that's inside you. People understand that. I've seen it. So there's all different demographics. So having now the corporate team just going in front of us and already it's starting. I can feel it. It's just about not started yet, but it's already, there's stuff happening. Very excited about that for myself, and the whole team. The idea to take this to the world. We need to travel, so that takes money. So we need to find ways of bringing that in. And then it's, as always, what you're going to do with it. how you get it is important. Your intention, how you use it, is everything. That's the whole thing. So the plan is really simply, to use it for good. I would love a farm up the west coast of Scotland, absolutely. We grow our own food and bring people in and have access to the mountains with Sherpas and, meals and TPs and all that kind of stuff, and just be able to do it. I've been talking about that for years and years and years now. That's our plan. And I like somewhere abroad as well, somewhere warm. We can go in the winter time and get the best of both worlds. We can escape these heavy, not even winters, to escape this climate. Summer just now, July, and looking out, and it's like 13 degrees, and so that isn't good. So we need the sunlight. So to go somewhere we can do the sunlight, and that also opens up different opportunities and avenues in terms of what you're able to do in these places. Just awesome. So much expansion, blessed by the team, the way it's unfolded. I'm so grateful to every one of these, and there's more coming. There's more going to be added. There's so many different positions. The bigger it's getting, and the more the wave is building behind us, and there's more positions coming up. I am in the process. It's already done, but the apprentice program. People coming in. I've been asked for years and years. People coming in and learning, and again, just anybody signing up for that. That was never going to be the way. Like just coming in and taking it, and me gifting this. It needs to be of a certain, people of a certain level in terms of their intention. Why are you doing it? What's your reason? What's your why? And it can't be about for you. It needs to be about to get it out there and to help people. So that's something I'm going to be announcing very soon. There's already candidates that have been, it's been like just a selection through the work they've done and who they are, and just the right timing of it. So there's already people that are lined up for that, and excited to be finishing that. The programme itself is something I'm not even pushed yet. That's just been a learning curve. So the programme that they're going through, the programme that I'm on, the programme that was a third written in January time, when Michael and Fern decided to basically go on and say let's do this, and everyone had to stop because the book was almost done. That's just even probably one chapter rewritten. And then I kind of final edit. So again, no rush for that. The story's good. It's a good story. It explains to them what I'm coming from and why I'm doing what I'm doing. But the programme's the main thing for me. The programme is what it's all about. And there's 90 headings just now. That might maybe drop one or two. I've got one or two. But there's 90 headings just now of things that I teach within this whole entire system. And I checked and opened up the other day to look at where I was with it. I was kind of looking through kind of clenched fingers, like, right, how far did we get and how good was it? Because it was last year when I kind of put it down. End of the year, and I was really surprised. I'm really happy with it. The first probably 20 chapters, probably about 11,000 words in the first 20 chapters. I'm so happy with it. It's like I listened to it all the way through with no desire to edit it or make it better. I just listened to see where I was and what was coming through, and I was really happy with it. So that's something I'm now back on. Now the tour's finished, I'm going to take a bit of time in the next couple of weeks, get back into the writing again, which I love. And finish that over the next, could be 2-3 months, and then the programme itself, all the different headings, which will be accompanied by videos, an entire system, like a guidebook, a playbook to the whole thing, because it's fast. It makes me laugh a wee bit when people come in and say, no, I've got my meditation practice and I'm alright, and they go away, or it's I'm just not using it because I'm too stressed. The people that sign up for it, and a lot of people have left as well. They're now doing like a 6-month minimum sign up, just so people commit to it, and it's even cheaper than £1 a day now. It's like 80 pence a day if you sign up for 6 months, because you need to come in and watch the videos and learn the language and the information, and then you apply it to your life. And if you do that, then you get a chance. But if you come in and jump straight into the live videos or the recordings, if you heard me talking yesterday morning at 5:30, the stuff that's coming through, it's like, what is this? But once you understand, the steps to it and the language that's involved in it, and where I'm coming from and my intentions with it, then at that point it's something that absolutely makes things better. So really excited about all of that. The team that are showing up, the expansion that's taking place in so many different areas. We're just blessed. It's one of the kind of chance where we're prepared, we're ready. We now can go anywhere in the world. The team we've now got, we can go anywhere. It doesn't matter the numbers. A microphone and a stage, and people being able to a yoga mat and lying their back and breathe. If we can get the cold, would be great. If we don't, it doesn't matter, because it's the experience of going inside and the reconnection back to the self. That's where the miracles are taking place. So we can take that anywhere. And now we've got the manpower, it feels like, and the women power to do that, and their intention as well. They're seeing it from a different place. They're now very much part of it, so we're doing it together, which is just so rewarding for me. I can't tell you how grateful I am and how that makes me feel to know there's people standing beside me, going in the same direction with the same goal. To try and help people, it's so powerful, it's beautiful, and it works. The proof's in the pudding, and it works. That's what we see every single time, mostly. things get better, so the team and expansion has just been fantastic. The mission continues, we keep moving forward, we keep going, it doesn't stop, there's no end to it, which is great. We're having a couple of weeks, there's no end to the work, we're just working in a different way. Very excited to start really finalising, getting the programme finished. The group itself just now is great. Anybody that was wondering what it is, the programme's all about intentional living, dead simple, taking back your power and living with intention. The desire to make things better for yourself by, being awake and aware as to see what you're doing to yourself. And then once you have that, then doing different things that make your life better, where you're spending your time in terms of your thinking in your head, how you're sleeping, if you're up during the night, if you're struggling with that, the benefits of things like mouth taping and, there's just so many different bits, how that feeds into how you sleep and then how you wake up and then the diet when you wake up and the meditation when you wake up, and there's so many bits to it, and the people that are on it, the lives every single day, what's happened since we started it. Now I think there's 26 in this morning, but when you sit in it, there's a real calmness and a presence, there's a stillness within the group. New people come in, you can see them, it's an open group so they can come in and go, and some people are going for work and all that kind of stuff, but there's a core group, maybe 18 to 20, that are sitting in that space, that have learned how to kind of calm the mind and out of the head and then reconnect back into their heart and back into their soul, and they're feeling the feelings of love and they're feeling the relief that's coming in and the healing that's coming in. And it's so powerful, it's the programme just now is, I would say, it's mostly to do with that, the lives every day. And the kind of Q&As and the open mics that we do, where it's just like conversations and shooting the shit and asking questions. We had an empty the other night where I wasn't there, and just basically to speak behind my back and just to explain, because a lot of times I'm there when people don't. Obviously, I totally get that. So just to kind of openly say, this is where I'm with it and this is what's going on with it, so we're creating a community of like-minded souls and minds who are basically moving in a specific direction, which is towards the light and towards the answers and the solutions as to how we fix this world. They're on the same page. They've all came from obviously different levels of the backgrounds and the life experiences, but most are survivors. A lot of them are survivors, that are looking for a different way of doing it. A lot of them have tried everything else, and none of it works. So at that point when they come in, how quick people get on about it and how quick things change. Testimonials is something that we're now working on, like interviewed testimonials. We need to be telling people what it's doing, because some of the stories, in fact almost all of the stories, when people open up and say this is what it did for me, whether it's the brickies or whether it's the nursery school teachers or whether it's the corporate CEO or whether it's the teenager, they're all saying the same thing, when they switch off stress and we can reconnect back and remember how you're meant to feel. Life and the problems that they walk in with don't seem to be there anymore when they come back to again, when they tap back into the power that's inside of them through experience. So really excited. There's a lot of good stuff going on. Try to keep up with it a wee bit just now, and at the same time, financially, make all that work. It's just fascinating. It's a process. It's a wonderful process, and just blessed with the people that are now, the allies that are here on my side, not looking for anything. And there will be an exchange, of course there is. Everybody's going to win. Everybody needs to win for this. Everybody needs to get exactly. And most people win for the same thing as me, which is freedom. They want ease, they want to be able to go and do something they enjoy. They want to go to work, and basically be inspired, as opposed to, being bloated and tired and just broken with it because they hate it. The ability to go and do something you love, especially when it's helping other people, they've been attracted to that, and my intention is to build something big enough that basically everybody wins, everybody gets exactly what they need, on their own journey with their own individual stuff, but also it's part of this community, because it isn't me, it's always, it's everybody together, we're building it together. It's became too powerful to be just one man, which was always the thing, and that's all coming through self-reliance and people being selfish and tending to themselves and getting into alignment, and then we meet in the middle, so there's no drama, there is no bullshit, there is no hierarchy, there is no ego. I do not allow it. There's no fucking check me out. There is the whole, the way that a lot of groups I see have done it, that isn't happening in here. There's none of that. It's keep it humble and let's go and help people if we're asked, and let's get it for ourselves, because that's the only thing that you should be doing, is getting it for yourself, and then paying that forward. If you can and you're able to, but if you can't, it doesn't matter either. Just get it for yourself. And what we're seeing is just awesome, and it feels like, as Michael said this morning with the meeting up here after the live, and it was like just a roller coaster the last few weeks. We're kind of on that bit now. We're just going to get to enjoy this next wee bit before we had the next uphill. So that's how it works. That's the ebbing and the flowing, isn't it? But the kind of climb, the last few bits in here, And now we get to enjoy the kind of letting it go and screaming your head off for a wee bit and just like celebrating. You know, it's been really significant. It's been great. We're really kind of proud of everything we did and the people we helped. There was, even though the numbers, you know, the volume and then what actually showed up, there was probably 400, 500, 600 people there over the 4 weeks. And many more now know about us and know that what we're about because of people going back and saying you really should, you know, get on about this because it's going to help you with your anxiety, your depression and your trauma and your, you know, whether it's grieving or whatever it is you're dealing with, you know, the addictions. Things get better, you know, when you learn how this goes together, you know. So really excited for what's to come. Enjoying this kind of this ride, this bit, excited, but so excited in so many different ways. For I said to Michael yesterday, I'm almost like trying not to like miss a bit so I can get excited about it. You know, it's just this constant like self-reinforcement. I think in different areas, you know, the new location, the possible vortex, the corporate, you know, on the road already, like Danny's thing, the social media team, the three of them bouncing off each other, and then Michael and Fern, you know, how their roles are changing. And you know how the people that are now being drawn to it, as well as the ones that are leaving as well. You know how it's just the expansion, and it's just powerful. It's great. It's an exciting time to be around about this. And those that know the way, those that are around about it, let's go, man. Let's get it. Let's go and do it. It's really exciting and just blessed to be right in the middle of it and really seeing, you know, the effect and the impact that it's having on people. It's time. It feels like there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come, and that idea needs the people in about it to basically make it happen. You can't do it on your own, you know. So now people can see it and they're pushing it. They're definitely propelling it forward, you know. And I'm just trying to play catch up and as always keep myself in alignment, you know, keep myself in the pink, and everyone else normally watch out for itself, you know. So really simple. Thank you for listening. Sorry this one's a wee bit later. It's been a long week. We'll try and get back to the earliest for next Friday. Got some exciting stuff coming up on here. Absolutely with not the interviews, but the getting to know sessions with Michael and Fern, and then there's the inner circle as well. There's with the social media team. I'm thinking of doing it. I'd love to do. I just need the permission to do a boys club, which again is just the boys, you know, getting people like hearing their stories and what they're doing and why this is different. It's really important, you know, and then there's obviously the programme members as well. There's so many people that I'd love to speak to, just to tell it if they were willing and able to, like, hear, like, this is what I did, this is my story, this is where I started, and this is how quickly, you know, it developed and how I got to where I am, you know, because we need that, because when people listen to that kind of stuff, then it hits in a different way, and you can feel the truth in it. There's no need for exaggeration. These people don't exaggerate, you know, so when you see the stuff that's coming through, and the results that they're getting by then, just a set kind of, you know, at the programme, by doing the work, then, you know, watching what happens to their life. So really excited, absolutely blessed, so grateful in so many ways. Thank you all for those who came to the tour. Thanks to the team for keeping it going and getting to where we are at just now. We're just warming up. There is so much more to come between all the other stuff and the expansion, and there's so many bits to it. But we're enjoying this bit. We're just savouring and kind of almost the one the next bit to unfold, because this is a great bit. Almost before it just, you know, blows up as a great bit, because once it happens, it's going to be busy. It kind of feels like that's what they're saying. That's what I've felt for a long time. That's what the manifestation have been, but getting to this point where we're ready. And now I really feel like I'm ready. I feel that the team's ready. You know, that the product is absolutely ready. That's always been ready, it feels like, you know, but the way I've been delivering that, you know, just refining that and how it goes together so we can get everybody, you know, so we don't miss anybody. Keeping it so general so that it's universal, you know, because it's the basics we're talking about. You know, so very excited, and we keep moving forward. God bless you. God bless yours. Have a fantastic day wherever you are. I hope you're well. Thanks for tuning in again as always. Peace out, love and light, and bye for now.